Episode 18 of Season 4 of Tales from the Darkside. The third to last episode of the entire series. This one's called Hush. And this is where Tales from the Darkside inspires the movie A Quiet Place. Because the monster in this episode is a vacuum cleaner with a long snout that puts itself on people's mouths and makes sure they can't breathe. It tries to kill anything that makes a sound. So the protagonist in this episode has to make sure that she's very quiet. Just like A Quiet Place. So it starts with the babysitter, Jennifer, who's played by Niall Lanning, who, while she did a good job in this episode, didn't go on to do very much else. She was in 6 episodes of the Marshall Chronicles in 1990, and 1 episode of Blossom. And she's babysitting a young child prodigy by the name of Buddy Warren, whose father is a famous inventor, and he is starting to invent things himself. When she first introduces herself to him, she shows him things that a child could actually create, things that don't seem very advanced. Then after this, he shows her his real invention, the Noise Eater. A machine, definitely not a vacuum cleaner, that silences things by sucking the life out of them. This includes people, refrigerators, lawnmowers, radios, anything that makes a sound. It just goes right up to it and starts killing the object. But it's all good because he has a remote control that can control this mechanism. And while I do like this episode, it's one of the few Tales from the Darkside episodes that is action-packed and quite scary, since the entire thing plays out. The babysitter, Jennifer, and Buddy being chased by this vacuum cleaner all throughout the house. So we don't have to wait until the end for it to start attempting to kill people. They do this throughout the entire course of the episode, playing out like an 80s slasher flick. But let's look at the vacuum cleaner itself. It's just not very intimidating. They do some close-ups where you see the long snout, and you can see that it has some type of teeth and greasy gums. But the thing itself moves very flimsily, and I think they should have just made it larger. Just make it a more intimidating looking machine that doesn't look like you can just kick it and throw it in the trash can, which is what I would do. This is a flimsy RC car, and I think giving the illusion of more weight and bulkiness would have really helped this episode. But as it stands, it is quite good, and it's exactly what we need in Tales from the Darkside, an action-packed episode. And it is a great idea. She runs throughout the house trying to dodge this machine, and what does she do? Well, it doesn't have eyes, and it can only hear sound. So she'll go to a radio, turn on the radio, then run the opposite direction. It goes and kills the radio. She'll go turn on the TV, then run away again and try to get out the door, and it goes and kills the TV. So having her constantly hit things to make sounds to then help her and Buddy escape is quite enthralling, and I like it a lot. And of course, it shares a lot of similarities to A Quiet Place. Yes, it's hard not to compare this to the 2018 movie A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski, or as I will always know him, Jim Halpert from The Office. Yet in that movie, the extraterrestrial blind creatures are very fast and quite scary looking. With this episode, had me scratching my head. I actually saw the movie in theaters, and it was quite an experience because everybody whispers the entire time. So when you see it in the theaters, everybody's very quiet. Except for the couple making out behind me. Besides them, everyone was very quiet. I remember thinking while watching that movie, while it was tense, there were some good scares. There's a part where they have a waterfall. Why not just build the house near the waterfall? Why not really dig underground very deep? Or why not build a treehouse? Or why not construct a city where there's tons and tons of white noise? Because apparently the creatures can't hear anything when there's a waterfall. So large amounts of natural noise. Why not just build a city based around that, and you can just have white noise your entire time? I'm getting off track here, but this made me also think this with Hush as well. This is a vacuum cleaner. Kick it, throw it down a laundry chute, just run out the door, which she does try to do. The vacuum cleaner just keeps blocking her path. And finally, the babysitter does something smart. She just takes a screwdriver and says, literally, screw it. I'm just going to hit it with a screwdriver and hope that it dies. And that actually works really well. These are not the creatures from A Quiet Place. You try to attack them with a screwdriver, you're going to get killed. So I think I'm going to give Hush a 7 out of 10. It's exactly the type of episode that I've been wanting that has a simple premise, but it's just tense all the way through, and it's just a chase scene. And I quite like episodes of movies like that, where the person is just being chased the entire time. No long exposition, no boring backstories, just get right to the vacuum cleaner chasing them. This episode was deftly directed by Alan Coulter, who directed the 2006 movie Hollywoodland, and 12 episodes of The Sopranos, and he does quite a good job here. Let's look at a positive and a negative review. This person gave it a 5 out of 10. Watch out for the possessed vacuum cleaner. A more traditional horror story from the Tales from the Darkside TV show, Hush tells the tale of what appears to be a possessed vacuum cleaner, because it is, with a desire to hoover up any humans unlucky enough to come into contact with it. The only person it kills is actually the mother. It's entirely ridiculous, of course. An ultra low-budget attempt to tell a man versus machine battle, usually dealt within bigger budget productions like The Terminator or RoboCop, or the 80s slasher film Chopping Mall, with out-of-control robot security guards, which seemed very crazy in the 80s, not very crazy now. We're absolutely going to have mall security guards like this. Paul Blart is being fired and replaced by C-3PO. Most of the running time seems to consist of characters screaming while technicians wiggle a Hoover tube at them. It's very silly, but at least it's cheesy fun. Unlike some of the more ponderous episodes in this series, wait till we get to the next episode. You'll be begging for a possessed vacuum cleaner. This person gave it a 10 out of 10. Hush feels like Elm Street. It's pretty well done for a late night TV show. For many years, I couldn't remember anything other than the plot. I wasn't sure if I'd seen a movie or not. I was in the 6th grade. Not me, this person. When I saw this episode first air late night on Sunday, when I asked friends about it, none of them had any clue what I was talking about. Then I recently found this episode and instantly realized this was it. What was awesome about this episode is how it felt very much like a slasher movie. Something like Friday the 13th. It's like the Friday the 13th scenes where Jason is chasing people. Just that part. Or Elm Street. They managed to successfully put together many aspects of a teen slasher movie into a 20-minute TV show. You have death scenes, while one hot teen babysitter, yeah, I guess so, in the final girl role, a monster chasing the two through the house and forcing them to really be clever about how they can kill it, while desperately trying to avoid being discovered. Well, you got it, buddy. And next up is, I'm not going to say the worst episode of Tales from the Darkside, but it's up there. I'll do a ranking of best and worst after I finish this series, and Barter is absolutely going to make the worst. It's written by Joel Selbo, and it's an I Love Lucy parody. Actually, that's the best part of this movie, is the I Love Lucy parody. The worst part is the main villain, Palazzo, who talks like this the entire time. Do-da-pa-boo-pa. It's literally that dumb. Barter is going to be something special. So stay tuned for that, because we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And then we only have one episode left, Bash Him Alone. Then we conclude the entire series. And check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. We just started Are You Afraid of the Dark? Of course, we've done every single Tales from the Darkside, every single Monsters, Fear Itself, Pet Shop of Horrors, Cowboy Bebop, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Black Mirror.